Hey guys, it's Brian. I just wanted to record a quick video to discuss some of the things that I find are most important with starting a trash can cleaning business. Um, Things that are a little more important than others. Just kind of walking through the process of how to, make sure that you are set up for your business and set up for success. So I'm just going to go over a few things, a few thoughts that I have, and hopefully somebody finds some value in what I have to share. So um, obviously there are certain things that you have to focus on when you're building a business. Website is probably the number one thing that you need these days to build a business. Long gone are the days where people just go into the yellow pages and find a business that they want. They're using social media, they're doing Google searches, and they're finding businesses near them that will take care of whatever problem that they have. So definitely don't want to cheap out on a website. I know there's a lot of free options out there where you can build your own website, do your own thing. There's even people that will offer to build a website for you, but you have to be really cognizant of who you're hiring and what you're paying for. Some places will charge you an upwards of $5,000 to build a website, and they don't even focus at all on your SEO, which SEO stands for search engine optimization. Now, why is that important? Well, Google will scan your page and all your different pages for your website, and they will index those pages and try to figure out what it is that you offer so they can provide those search results for people when they're searching for trash can cleaning, for example. So if your website is poorly made, doesn't have good keywords, isn't properly aligned to be indexed with Google, then Google has no idea how to show your website to the people that are actually looking for your service. So yes, you can build your own website and save money, but is it better to hire somebody that knows what they're doing to build a website for you? In my opinion, yes. This is definitely one of those areas where you shouldn't skimp out on your website. So right here, I'm just on my website. One thing that I've done, and I've mentioned this in other videos too, the very first thing that people see when they go to my website, my homepage, is my pricing page. All of my competitors, for some reason or another, have decided that they want to hide their prices, and they expect a potential customer to submit their information so they can be contacted later for pricing. And in my opinion, I think they're losing all of their customers to me because mine is just totally transparent. First page you get to is my pricing page. You can see what I'm charging, and then you can click to sign up for whatever service you want. And then we have other services too, pressure washing, pool filter cleaning, solar panel cleaning. I've got different pages built for all of that, videos, pricing. It's all here, right? And then you got some Google reviews on every page, and get in touch, get to know the owner, email, phone number. It's all here, like just your basic website, right? But on the back end, which I'll show you that too. So on the back end, I have all of these pages that my web guy has created over the last 2 years, and he's always making more content for me. These are all pages that are indexed on Google. So if we went into this one, for example, driveway pressure washing. Sorry, it's moving slow. Driveway pressure washing in Queen Creek. So this is just one city that I serve, and a page dedicated to driveway pressure washing in Queen Creek. And so it's got some pictures, it's got some content, why it's a smart investment, all this stuff, right? And so this is all indexed on Google, gives me positioning on the Google search. It's got the service area and then all the contact info still. So every single one of these pages is indexed and set up for SEO with Google. So making the effort and spending the money, I think, to do this, to build a website, is very, 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 very important. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. These are all the pages, all the different areas. This one's pool filter cleaning in Gold Canyon, trash can cleaning in Ahwatukee. Like, it's all there. It's just all pages that he's constantly making. So that's really important. Just having a very robust website. Okay. So, and then, we have gift cards, we have contact us, whatever. So going back to the home page. Number 2, that goes right along with your website is having a reliable CRM that can accept payments, route your customers, store your customers' information, store the credit card information, all of that. So when any customer clicks on the Buy Now button, they can go sign up. Sorry, let me go to the right page here. So they click the Buy Now button, they get here. It's got my logo. This is now my CRM. This is not my website. Okay, so the CRM. And so if somebody was interested in service, I'm just picking a random address. If they live within my service area, that is determined by me. I set up my zones inside my CRM. If their address falls within my zones, then they will get to this page where they can choose whatever service they want. These are all the different services that I offer. So if somebody wanted to get into like monthly trash can cleaning service, gives you all the details, 3 wash minimum, there's your price, however many cans you have, what day that they're picked up, right? And it's just building the price over here. We even offer, like, you can pay for a year in advance and get 10% off. So people enjoy doing that. We also offer some add-on services just for people in case they want some maggot deterrent, some waterproofing on their can, UV protectant on the outside, or all of it for a discount. And then they can also request a quote for our other services: pool filter cleaning, driveway pressure washing, solar panel cleaning, garage floor pressure washing. And then it gives the day that they're scheduled. Now, inside the CRM, you can adjust this to be automatically scheduling so the customer doesn't get a choice, or you can have it to where the customer can choose a day that they want based on their collection day. So, for example, right here, I chose Tuesday would be their collection day. We come out the day after collection day, so we know the cans are empty. So then this is Wednesday, May 20th would be the day. And I don't let the customers choose. This is just the very next time that we're going to be working on a Wednesday. So that's what they get scheduled. And if they like it, they can proceed and enter their information and go through, agree to the terms and conditions, and then check out and pay. As soon as they pay, they get put on the schedule, and then we go clean their trash cans. So this works really easy, really fast. It works every time. It's easy to understand, it's easy to fill out, and the flow makes sense. Now, this is another thing that people have struggled with a CRM that maybe doesn't work very well or isn't very thoughtful when it comes to an easy flow for people to understand, to check out. And it's clunky or it's slow. That's a really big way that you can lose customers too, is if your website or your CRM are slow, especially for mobile devices, because most people use those to sign up for service. You don't want to have anything that has low server power and is really a slow, clunky thing. You'll lose customers left and right. Okay, so that is basically, okay, so the CRM website, we talked about that. The CRM that I use is JavaTory. Okay, this is just, I'm not going to give like a huge overview, but I like this software a lot. It tracks kind of your sign-up results a little bit, your income, customers who canceled. You can track how many stops you have today. So for example, today we have 57 stops and 100 trash cans. This is how many we've done this year so far. And then coupons that we've used, customer analytics, just our signups. So like last month we did 309 new customers, and then this month we're at 83. We still have 2 weeks to go. So May is always slow for us though. School is coming to a close. People are planning their vacations, and I've always seen a decline in May. So we'll be picking back up in June, July, August. So. But anyway, this is really cool. Like, you can set up your zones. Here's all my different zones. These are my core cities that I serve, and we serve them every week of the month. And then some of my outliers like Magma Ranch and Anthem, we only serve those 1 week a month, just so I can keep my routes really dense. So that's how I run all of that. The one cool thing about this software too is employees can receive tips, which is pretty cool. So we pay out the tips every 2 weeks with their pay. You can set up your own custom notifications or whatnot. The software works really, really well. I've been using it for about 2 years. So I love it. It's very, very cool. Okay, so now that we talked about the CRM and the website, I want to briefly talk about equipment. I know that there's people in all kinds of various situations financially, right? I mean, you want to start a business, but the barrier of entry for this business specifically is the equipment. Buying a big Isuzu truck with all the equipment on the back can cost you in upwards of $160,000. I don't recommend jumping in if your finances are tight. Jumping into a big piece of equipment like that without any customers. I've seen a lot of people fail in this industry because, the payment on a truck like that is like $3,000 a month. And if you don't have any revenue coming in, you're floating that bill on top of paying your normal bills like your mortgage and your car payment and food and everything else, right? So, jumping into a $3,000 a month bill plus insurance is costly, right? But there are other ways to get into equipment. A lot of people like to DIY their own. I don't really recommend that either, because then you're taking a lot of shortcuts and you're cutting out the important equipment that you need, like a hot water pressure washer. Cleaning trash cans with cold water can be done, but you're going to use twice as much water, twice as much fuel, and it's going to take you twice as long to get one done properly. And then with cold water, you're still not killing the bacteria that's in the can that causes the smells. So you're just kind of washing it around and moving water and moving funky stuff, and then it's still in the can. Also, a lot of DIY units don't capture the wastewater, so that's super important as well. A lot of cities will have really hefty fines if you're dumping the gray water on the ground. So you really need to pay attention to where you are and talk to your city and find out what the ordinances are and the laws, because you don't want to get stuck with a $10,000 or $15,000 fine when you're trying to start a business cleaning trash cans. So there are some very important things to consider with equipment. And then there are opportunities for you to buy used equipment. There's great manufacturers out there that build decent equipment. One of my favorite manufacturers is the Trash Can Cleaners. They build the big trucks. They build little shorty trucks. They can build pretty much anything you need or want. One of their cool things that they just recently started building, and I just bought one, is a skid that slides in the back of the truck. So this is super cool. I can't wait till mine is finished and I get it here. But this will slide right in the back of my Denali. It has a heater, it's got water, it has a gray water capture, it has the automatic lifter and cleaning head and everything in a small little package, which is super cool. So this could be a great starter rig for somebody who wants to invest into a legitimate piece of equipment and get started the right way with this industry. So reach out to the Trash Can Cleaners for sure and have a conversation with Brandon or one of his sales guys. They'll steer you in the right direction. A great piece of equipment. So this runs, I don't like giving prices, $50,000 to $60,000 depending on your customization stuff that you want. Because there's options. You can get a manual lift and save some money. I had mine. He's custom building it with camper jacks, so I can lift it off my truck whenever I want and put it in storage. So mine's the first prototype that he's building in that way. But I think if it's a really big success, he'll probably start offering that as an option. So definitely get with these guys. And I get it. $50,000, $60,000 is still a big chunk of change, but it's legit equipment that will properly clean trash cans, capture the wastewater, use hot water, and you can actually hit the ground running and start making money. And this is a third of the price of one of the bigger trucks. So definitely something to consider. All right. So the next thing I want to talk about is, marketing. So give me one moment, and I just got to start a new video, and we'll talk about marketing stuff. Okay, getting into marketing, there's just a couple things I wanted to talk about. So when you are running into your service area, you want to make sure that you're not trying to serve too big of an area at a time, especially as a new business owner. You're not going to want to drive like 30 miles to go do one trash can. So what I would recommend is, just look at your map, wherever you store the equipment, go out, any maybe 10 miles from where you store it, and that's about the distance that you should try to focus on when you're first building the business. And then depending on where, let's see, I already marked this up, but let me undo all this. Okay. Ooh. Okay. So let's just say, this is my map anyway. Let's say we store the equipment right here. Okay. So what I would do is serve like a square like this, and then split that square into quadrants, and then week 1, week 2, week 3, and week 4. Now the reason you would do this is so you can really focus on just these dense areas and have just a lot of customers, and then you're only maybe driving 5 miles across. So all the customers are really close together, and then you do that every single week. The only disadvantage to this is if somebody in week 4 signs up and you're working in week 1, they have to wait 3 weeks to get service. A lot of people don't like doing that. A lot of customers don't want to wait, and they'll find somebody else to do it. But you also have to keep in mind, like, do you want to be driving a huge amount all the time? One of the biggest mistakes I made when I first started this business was I was trying to serve this entire area, and we were driving a lot. The benefit back then was I had another business that was floating this one, so I could afford the fuel and the payroll. But if I were to have done it over again, I would have focused more on having really, really small, dense routes. So just something to think about. And then once I got my second rig, I opened up all of my primary core cities to every week. So no matter when somebody signed up, we were coming after their very next trash day to clean their cans. So just keep that in mind when you're trying to create your service area. Also pay attention to where your competitors are working. So, in this example, if there was another competitor that, say, was working this area, then it could be wise to just reach out, maybe be cordial with them and say, hey, I'm going to start my business south of the freeway here, and I noticed that you're north of the freeway. Like, maybe we can maintain this line right here to where we don't cross into each other's paths. If anybody calls me in your area, I'll send them to you, and if you could do the same for me, that would be cool, and we can coexist and everybody be happy. That's the ideal scenario. I have that scenario worked out with several of my local trash can cleaners as well. Not all of them. One of my biggest competitors thinks he's going to serve the entire Phoenix area and is just all over the place. And good for him, whatever, it's fine. But we don't get along, and he's always trying to convert my customers. And I'm always getting his customers because he does a bad job. So it kind of works out. But anyway, if there are competitors, highly recommend at least just reaching out and trying to have a conversation. Introduce yourself. Be cordial. There are plenty of homes for everyone to make a thriving business, no matter where you're at. It took me a little while to realize that for myself, because I was really upset when my biggest competitor came into my territory after 3 years of me being in business and just started trying to take my customers. But just in the service area that I serve, there's 1.5 million homes, and I have 1,500 recurring customers after 9 years. There is plenty of work for everybody. So, but it's nice to have friends. And I'll give you a great example. So I have a friend, he lives way, 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 way like northwest of where I serve. But last week I needed an extra piece of equipment. We had way too many stops to do, and I wasn't going to be able to finish them. And he loaned me one of his trucks for a couple of days so I could get my routes done. That'll never happen with a competitor that you're fighting. So make friends with people in the industry, especially near where you live. You never know if you need their help or if they could use your help. and it's nice to have a local friend in this exact scenario that I had. So just keep that in mind. All right, so other forms of marketing. So I'm just going to go to Google here, and I'm going to type in trash can cleaning near me. Okay, so you'll notice sponsored ad. This is my website. This is me. This is my Google search ad, and my ad strength is excellent, and it shows at the top. And if there were other sponsored ads, you'd see them up here too, but it looks like I'm the only one running right now, which is fine. So what's cool though, so this is a clickable link that a customer can click on, and I'll pay for that click, right? But it's at the very top of the page. Then you've got another sponsored ad. So this is also my sponsored. So if somebody clicks here, I pay for it, right? Then you have the Google My Business pages. So this is mine, this is mine. This is my sponsored one, and then this one's mine, and this one's mine. So I had a unique, this is kind of a trick. It's a beneficial trick to dominating Google, I suppose. If you have two physical addresses, you can create two different Google My Business profiles. And so you can see on the map here, the Trash Can Cleaning Company. This is where I used to store the equipment back when I first started my business, when I owned a property over here. And this is where I live. So I created another Google Business profile here. And now it gives me two locations instead of just one for some of these other guys that are out here. So, I mean, we've got me, Can Monkey, which he doesn't clean cans. They move your cans to the curb for trash day. Then you got me, then you got me, then you got Happy Cans Earth, Easy Bin Blasters, they're out of business. Garbage Bin Busters, Stink Be Gone, Candy Cleaners, Bubble Bins, Bin Bandits. There's a lot. These guys are out of business. Anyway. So yeah, there's a lot there. I need to go back. Hang on. There we go. Okay. So get this back. Then, okay, so after the pages here, then you got me. So this is my website for organic search. So if somebody clicked on this one, I wouldn't pay. And this is one of those extra pages that I showed you earlier, trash can cleaning in Santan Valley. This came up because I'm currently in Santan Valley at my house, and so this page showed up. Then I've got my Yelp page, shows up there, and then there's one of my competitors. And then Bin Bandits, he's not one of my competitors, it's one of my buddies. He lives and serves a different area of town. And then this is my big competitor here. He's way down here. This is my largest competitor. Look at this. All of this, and you can't get to his website unless you scroll all the way down here. It's pretty crazy. Then you got me again in Queen Creek, and then you got me again on Yelp, and then you got me again on the sponsored result at the bottom of the page. So you can see this is all positioning with SEO and having a very good website with lots of additional pages and content. Everybody is indexing me, and I've got different content all over the place. So there's high likelihood that people are going to click on my stuff and my website before any of my competitors, which is exactly what I want. Okay, so just another jab at making sure that you have a really good website. And by the way, if you need a web guy, my web guy that runs all of my stuff is always accepting clients. So if you want his info, just shoot me a message and I will give you his information, and you can talk to him about what he can do for you and what his prices are. So he runs his business kind of a la carte. So it depends on what you need and what you want him to do. And then you guys can figure out a price point that's fair, that everyone is happy with. So, okay, so getting back, so this is Google search ads. This is all I run is Google search ads. And my strategy is basically be the first one found on Google, no matter what, for all of my relevant keywords in all of my service area. And all of my competitors are out doing all that they can. They're doing flyers, door knockers, they're whatever, they got their websites, they're paying for online ads, Facebook ads, whatever, right? But most people, when they first see this, they aren't going to sign up right away. Now they just understand, like, okay, there's a service for that. So in a month or 2 months or 2 weeks, and the customer is taking their trash can out to the street and it smells horrible and it's covered in maggots, then they're like, oh my God. Oh yeah, I remember there was a company that cleans these things. I'm going to go on Google and search. I don't remember the name of the company because a lot of these companies have goofy names. Nobody's going to remember that. So then they search trash can cleaning near me or whatever, and they find my stuff first. That is my strategy here because I have so many competitors that are all marketing their businesses and they all have funky names. That's not necessarily what's going to work for you, but you have to have these things in place. You have to have a good website like we talked about. You have to have SEO. You have to have a good CRM that's fast, efficient, and reliable. That way people can sign up. And then the challenge is getting people to search for you or to sign up for your service. Facebook ads, I will tell you, in my opinion, and I've talked to so many people in this industry that have been paying Facebook ad gurus to run their ad campaigns. They're paying them $600, $700 a month, and then spending in upwards of $2,000 a month on ads for leads, not paying customers, just for leads. And those leads are non-responsive for the most part. One guy told me he spent like $3,800 and got 26 customers. So he's going to be cleaning their cans for free for 2 years. The cost for Facebook ads, in my opinion, is not worth it. I did a case study for people in my Facebook group. In March, I ran a Facebook ad for leads for 3 weeks. And this is something I know how to do. Like I've had other businesses where Facebook marketing was a primary means of getting customers. I know how to run ads. I know how to create content. I know how to have an ad that people will click on and just buy from you. And I set all that up. I did it right. And I ran it for 3 weeks. I spent $2,000, $2,100. I got 281 leads that submitted their info. And then I had 14 customers come out of that. 7 of them were one-times, 5 were quarterlies, 2 were monthlies. And so basically it cost me $150 a customer, and I'm going to be cleaning those cans for free for a year. So it's not worth it, in my opinion. And every single person I've talked to have had the same or worse results. I have not yet talked to anyone that has been able to show me evidence that they are having successful campaigns on Facebook. The guru might have convinced them that an acquisition cost of $50 is good, but it is by far not good. My acquisition cost on Google search is like $5. So there's a huge difference there. I highly recommend that you do not pay a guru for sure. And then also Facebook ads, just for this industry specifically, I don't think it's a very viable way to get customers. You're just going to waste your money. The best way for a new business to get out there, and I'm just going to cover this briefly because I'm running out of time, is getting boots on the ground. Get your equipment into the neighborhoods that you want to serve. Park them in the entrance of the neighborhood at 5 p.m. Put your own trash can in the back and just turn it on and let it fly. And just pass out business cards as people are coming home from work. People will stop, and when they recognize what you're doing, they'll ask you for a business card. Another great way, knocking on doors, introducing yourself to the community. As a new business owner, you're offering the service. Get involved with the community, Chamber of Commerce, PTO, fundraiser events for schools, parades, all that kind of stuff. Get involved, get out there, get in front of the people that you want to serve. Parking your rig in your driveway and then sitting in front of your computer hoping that people will sign up is not going to work for your business. So get out there in the community, get to work, and help people realize that you're available and that you've got great pricing. I did go over a pricing strategy in another video. It's posted in the group, so check that out. But other than that, this is what I got. So hopefully this helps somebody, and I'll talk to you later. Thanks.